The Rhino! First impressions of the Rhino. We'll use this. I usually would leave it all on the sprue like this. There's nothing, I think, particularly worth commenting on the sprue on the Rhino, because with, say, my Death Guard models that I spent basically all yesterday since I live streamed putting together, the sprue on this is almost unremarkable, but that's not exactly a bad thing, because if you're looking for, you know, a Plague Marine like this, maybe you should try to get like a Land Raider or the Plague Burst Crawler. But if you're looking for something to freehand on a little bit, do a little freehand on the sides and on the doors and what have you, I think this will be great. It's also a very reasonably priced kit for what you're getting. I got this for 30 bucks off the internet, new in box. Very reasonably priced kit, and especially for getting a tank. I don't know what Rhinos go for off the Games Workshop website, but comparatively, I mean, I guess that's about what a truck costs. But like, none of these sprues are particularly astounding. It's a very complete sprue. The instructions are there. We'll be commenting on that in a little while. As far as the ease of assembly goes, it's pretty good. Customizability, I mean, this kit's nothing special. In like my mind, there's like nothing about the kit allows you to make like an especially like crazy Rhino without buying extra parts. But the kit does provide, like I said, a hand for a place for freehanding, a hand for free placing is what I was going to say. A place for freehanding, and also an opportunity if you want to invest money to further upgrade things. I also like the floppy back bit that they say do not glue. I was always curious about that pre-Rhino. Like, if you want to get even real crazy, you can freehand here in the back. You can do all sorts of madness. I might do that actually. Anyways, probably not. I'll do that on a later Rhino. I'm not that sick yet. Overall, if we were gonna stratify, try to give this a 50 scale, out of 50, the compatibility is pretty low. Detail, similarly, mediocre to low. We'll call it mediocre on both counts. So mediocre. Price per model was pretty reasonable, so it scores a little bit higher there. And this also like serves as to the purpose in the game, because this, and you know, just overall, and time invested on the model, minimum the tabletop standard is pretty decent, but also time spent to put it to top end. It also has a fairly high end, because you can, like I said, freehand large amounts of detail. If you want to say detail or pictures or really anything onto half of a Rhino. Oh, set down! Set down. We're still good. I knocked my Plague Marine box off the top. I didn't know how big the Rhino. That's what came off. So let's move on, because there's two things I do want to compare here. Talk about the assembly guides. Like, this isn't particularly a bad assembly guide. I mean, it does get a bit. It would be a bit confusing because there's instructions for things that aren't in the kit there. But I understand where that's coming from because this is all just a predator. It says right there, Chaos Rhino and Predator instructions. So it's for more than just a Rhino, and that's fine. But the instructions are there. They're not the greatest. They're not the worst. They're not Orc Boy instructions. Again, overall, this is a pretty standard. This is what I would call like a bog standard kit. Some people would call it a pretty bad kit, but it's not. I wasn't mad when I got it. I was actually pretty happy. There's room for improvement in many ways, but it also does a few things pretty decently, and like I said, the price is reasonable for its in-game purposes. Well, let's get back to this. This is the Death Guard Plague Marines being a particularly fantastic kit that I really enjoyed. I didn't put it down. It has these very beautiful instructions, but it has critically the rules in the back. And this is something that I find to be fantastic. Not like average. This is something I find to be exemplary. I wish Games Workshop would do more of things like this with their future product lines. I don't want them to stop this. I really enjoy what's happening here. Why do I enjoy this so much? Because I already know Plague Marine rules. But do you know who doesn't? The person who maybe just buys a box and they get a very they have a very rudimentary rule set. Whether it be like some pirated version, some what's that, like some very low end rule, like stripped down rule set that their friend wrote down, or maybe like I've heard there's a PDF. I don't know how stripped down that is. So like they could have varying amounts of rules, but this provides a basis. And, it's in the back of the book, and it might be updated. As far as certain rules, I'm not sure. I have not read it. But what I do like is that it's there. That it's there, and if somebody wasn't like me and they didn't already know exactly what they were doing with their Plague Marines, and they wanted to figure out how to kit it out for the game on top of maybe kitting out to look cool, because like this whole thing is that they're not familiar with the rules, so they don't know that they're trying to break down all their squads into minimal squads with blight launchers and plague axes and a champion. They don't know, they don't have that laid out. Maybe they're trying to decide if they want to go bolters, maybe they want to go Melta, maybe they want to go with the plague spewer, maybe they want to go dual plague knives because plague axes cost all sorts of options. It's right there. It's right there for you. And whereas this isn't particularly bad, and it's from a completely different era of Games Workshop, this also isn't worth commenting on, like, the rules. Because this reduces the overall investment required to take, and time required to take your models from the box to the tabletop, especially if you're new to the game and you and your friend each bought just a few kits, and they have like a rudimentary, like I said, rudimentary rule set in mind. Like they know kind of how the psychic phase works and kind of how it all pans out, and movement, all that, and shooting and combat, and maybe they don't have all of the sub phases and all of that figured out, but this allows them to each buy a kit and then bung their models on the field and have it out. And inside of a day, all they need is a kit, a D6, and the most faintest faintest idea of how this D6 system that they have laid out works. I'm gonna catch y'all later. This was again, I'm gonna be doing these live from now on. These reviews. Very mid-20s on this. It's to 30s. Standard kit. Not mad about it. If you know what you're getting in, if you want a Rhino, and that's if you know what a Rhino is and you want a Rhino, it ain't bad. I mean, I wanted a Rhino, so, but price-wise, it's very reasonable. I think every Marines have to have a couple because it's the way they kind of almost pigeonhole you into it in certain cases. But the thing is, you could have a lot of fun with this kit, or you could not. And you could also be, you know, pretty new, I think, to this kit and not get completely plumbed out of your depths. Because my Plague Marine kit was like 150, 140 something parts. Somebody that isn't familiar, I've assembled a bunch of models and I had to go through it with a very linear, analytical fashion is how I put it together. As well, is the way I'll describe how that happened. But somebody who isn't searching for analytical paths to make sure that all of their models wind up a certain way and want to get custom mod, it's still going to be confusing, even if they give you the instructions, because it's 140 bits. This isn't 140 bits. It's a few bits. There's a lot of room for freehanding. There's a lot of room for upgrade if you really want to do it. The kit by itself isn't astounding, but it's also not a heartbreak at 30-something bucks. So, pretty satisfied. Really, actually, pretty thrilled with this whole thing. Why are you just holding the bit? Because that's the only thing I have assembled, man. Like, why aren't you clipping it off? Hey, that's actually a good idea. I actually have not, I just didn't think about it, so. Oh, I should open up chat. Those are things I don't think about. Stoner! Yeah, I am, though. Really, though, I am. Oh, sweet. Anyways, I actually will jump out of here. Next time, I've got something to go take care of. I just got a text. Next time, I will be clipping bits. If I do one of these, I might be clipping bits off. I don't know. Who knows? We'll probably be painting Plague Marines soon. Because, ooh, I can't wait to paint all of this, guys. I really can't. This is just like initial impressions, first thoughts. I'll be talking about post-assembly impressions on these guys later. My little Plague Marines. My little dude mangs here. He's alright. This guy's my favorite. He ain't got no special weapons, but he's in some crazy ass guard stance. I also like this guy a lot. He isn't really going to be carrying the icon all that much, but part of these are for also kind of show, because I'm going to have to buy. I'm going to buy a lot of these kits, a lot of these Plague Marine kits. I actually really enjoyed it. Then I guess that's how we'll rate it. I would have bought, if I get the resources, somehow to buy another Plague Marine kit tomorrow, I'm going to do it. Chaos Rhino, I'm not mad about it. I'll probably buy it again, but I'm only going to buy it when I'm like, oh, I should get another Rhino. No, I'm not going to be like, I should get another Rhino because it's like plastic crack. No, that's what these Plague Marines are. This is the plastic crack. This is just a very good addition, a really fun box for, especially my first Rhino. I'm not mad about it. Second Rhino, probably going to be a little less surprising. When you get to number 6, it's probably going to seem almost boring. So, that's my thoughts. And I'll just stop babbling. get on out of here. Actually, we'll check chat for a second. Because, I can do that. And, then I'll just chat with you guys for a second. Oh, no, we don't want any of that, man. Okay, cool. Nobody contributed in live chat. We gotta, oh, that's pretty bright. Let's see if we can turn the registry better. But yeah. That's too dark. Well, everybody, we'll have to figure that one out later. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Hope you have a nice day. Just first thoughts on a Rhino. It's yeah, mid 20s, low 30s. Does what it does all right. Not mad about it. The rule kit is not the Plague Marine rule kit. Okay, let's quit streaming. Bye-bye.